Thank you, Monalisa. Let's have a crisp meeting today. With that, I will call on our first evaluator to talk about the speech that our first speaker, Monalisa, is going to give. Don't just evaluate, elevate is our speech title. Derek, if you can please come up here and provide the details of her speech.
Sure.
Like me to start?
Our first speaker of the day is Monalisa with her speech titled, Don't Just Evaluate, Elevate. Her speech will be about 3 evaluation tips. She's going to tell us why it's better to focus on delivery over content. She's also going to share with us a framework that we can use to give better evaluations using a what, how, why type of framework. She'll also give us a structure that we can use to give better evaluations. Hopefully I pay attention, that way I can use what she tells me in her evaluation of her evaluation speech. And
I am coming in just.
I'll just stand here until she's ready.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. This way so that you still have the aha moment watching the slides there, and I can just see that it really is updating the right way. And I got, sorry, my time is not started yet. I decided to be fancy and do the tricks that Derek and Justin do and got myself a clicker. So first time, hopefully things will go fine. All right, don't just evaluate, elevate. How many times have you heard us evaluation, or maybe you've given us evaluation, where by the time you see the red card, all you hear is the evaluator talking about how the content of the speech was, how good it made them feel, and the stories related to it, but not really the evaluation. And you're like, oh shoot, I did not tell all the things that I wanted the speaker to improve on. That's why I decided. I see that happen oftentimes, so I decided, why not try to give a speech on the tips that I like to follow. So here are my recommendations that I will use today to, can I focus it a little? You can't read, the focus is gone?
Yeah, it's a little bit blurry.
Not this. Where is the focus? Really? I don't know, but you can't still read this. No, you can't read the top and bottom. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Oh well. Maybe online it's clear. In the room, the projectors may not be, is not clear. That's fine. You guys can squint, but I'll try my best to read it off as well because there are some aspects of it. Sorry. So here on the little title there talks about there are 3 recommendations for speech evaluation that I'll be sharing here today with you. So my first recommendation, and it should work, and it decides not to. Right, where of course it'll work if I turn it on. So my first recommendation is just about what I started off with. Review the message or evaluate the delivery. What I mean by this is, if you have something like this, I really liked your point about how AI is changing the workplace. I agree that AI is going to have a massive difference in fintech. I already see this in my workspace happening. And this is how I'm using it. This is the change happening. You notice people come here, when they give evaluation, they start talking about how they are experiencing AI instead of actually talking about, hey, your example about AI in the workspace, sorry, it's blurry, I'll just read it out for you guys. Your example about AI in the workspace was effective because you paused before actually revealing the actual message. That had that effect of delivering and kept us intrigued. Something like that is actually talking about the delivery of the speech, of how the speaker delivered. So don't just review the meetings. Sorry. Okay. Don't just review the message, but evaluate how effectively guys on the screen, sorry, just practice slightly a bit, but here it's coming now in the room. How about I just get you guys focused here while that happens? Aha! Don't review the message, evaluate how effectively the speaker delivered the message. Let's talk about the second recommendation that I have. I should have called this out earlier. All of these recommendations that I'm talking about today, very early on, when I used to give evaluations, I used to just come and evaluate based on what I've been hearing. It was in one of the speeches when Justin, our fellow Toastmaster, he talked about it after winning an evaluation contest. He shared a link with us. All of the tips that I'm sharing today are not, I mean, of course, they're maybe well known across, but especially every time I need, I go back and use that uh, website that he had recommendations for evaluation long back. And the techniques that are provided over there, I use them often and keep going back. I will share the link after the speech with you guys, so that you can also reference that. There's a lot more stuff, but I've picked out my favorite three. The second one is a technique that is called out what, how, and why. What, how, and why goes by. It's actually telling the speaker when you're giving a feedback. Don't just say that, hey, you had a very good vocal variety. That is just telling you what the speaker did. And many times people just stop at that. Instead of just saying what, also call out how did they do it. You had great vocal variety. I noticed this when you talked about your father, your voice changed and such. Call that specifically out. That is the how they did it. And then also call out why. Why did it work? When you changed that tone, you brought us back together and engaged us in your story. That's the beauty of this, which actually not only tells the speaker what they did good, how they did good, and why should they do it, but it also helps educate rest of the audience to know that what a uh, good speech should look like. The second part of this, and that's even more important, by the way, I do have an example for it. You used a great vocal variety. You raised your voice and increased your space during the exciting parts and slowed down during the serious moments. That change in pace and volume kept us engaged and helped us feel the emotion of the story. The second part of it is even more important when you're giving, and for improvement, you use this twice, the double what, how, and why. And how do you use it is you identified what they did. Hey, I noticed that when you were delivering your speech, you were only looking at one part of the audience. How did you observe it? Is by saying that, hey, you were looking only at one part of the team, of the audience. Why could it be better? Because the other part felt neglected. The improvement part, it's really good to call out what they should do instead. Whenever you're giving a suggestion, call out what should they do instead. You should look at everybody. But when you look at everybody, everybody feels connected and can actually relate to what you're saying. And I'm using simpler examples, but this can be applied to anything about in what, how, and why, and recommending the second time on the improvements. The third part, I've noticed many times people come here, give an evaluation, go back. Evaluation is also a speech. And just like a speech, it needs to have an introduction, maybe a hook, a body, and a summary. In fact, when you do evaluation contests, there is a specific 15 points allocated just for summary. So don't just, when you come here, land a hook or talk about, when you give an introduction in speeches, we talk about, hey, what am I going to be talking about today? And then the body. A body, you can use the what, how, and why aspect of it. And the conclusion is the takeaway that, hey, I'm summarizing, this is what should happen, and then you take that away back from there. So that's the third recommendation. Summarizing it all, three things to remember. Focus. Evaluate the delivery, not the content. Use it twice for improvements. The what, how, and why structure. There are many techniques out there, but this is the one that I find the best one, because it not only helps the speaker on what to do the next time when they come here to deliver the speech, because that's what we all here for, right? We want to come here, give a speech, and improve on it. The third one, yes, your speech itself is a structure. So the next time you use this format, it is a way for you to give a feedback back not only to the speaker on what they can do better, but also to educate our whole club and elevate all of us together. Thus, don't just evaluate, elevate. Lastly, I promised you guys I will give you guys the website. Here's a QR code. I'm hoping everybody has smartphones now. And if you can, while the 1 minute of silence happens, maybe you can put in the QR code. Thank you. Thank you, Monalisa, for that insightful speech.
Please help me to welcome Evaluator Tarico on the stage.
what's the secret to a crisp, prepared speech? PowerPoint, apparently. Monalisa gave a PowerPoint presentation, which a lot of them happen, but few people are able to do it quite as crisp as Monalisa. What's great about PowerPoint is that you're able to present a lot of text information, which is legible and more easily rememberable. And the text was large enough that everyone in the back part of the room could still read it. It's great. But what about improvements? What can she do to improve this speech? Although I praised her for having a lot of text, I do feel like it was more text heavy than it really needed to be. Why is text heavy bad? Because it diverts the focus away from the presenter speaking to the words. They're not paying attention to you anymore. You could be jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks. They don't know that. They're just paying attention to whatever's on the screen. And also, if everything they need is on the PowerPoint, why do they need me to talk? They could just ask me to email the PowerPoint through email, and that's enough. So you have to think to yourself, what does the presenter have to offer that's better than a PowerPoint? Therefore, they usually say, when you use PowerPoint, you want to use it as a supplement to what you're saying, which I think you did, but I think we can help bring the attention back to yourself in some way, maybe by having a clear screen while you talk, which I think you did at one point, but you can do more of it. In your PowerPoint, I saw there were no demo examples. What do I mean by demo examples? You can take 5 or 10-second clips of a speech you found online. This is something that Lance Miller does in his YouTube video. He actually takes 10 seconds of someone else's speech, maybe from the World Public Speaking. He just takes a 10-second clip and he evaluates that. He talks about that section. I think that would add better context to what your examples are. You would be evaluating what was actually said, and then we would get it. Right now, we just take your word for it that this happened, and your suggestions would be more relevant to I don't know how to say it, but it would be better if you had an actual demo with a clip. That's how you can get better. In conclusion, you have this formula: why, how, what? No, what, how, why. I had it backwards, which is a fantastic formula. I try to use it right here, even though I learned it just a couple minutes ago. If I can do that, I'm pretty sure you can do that too. Just keep asking what, how, what, and your evaluation will be crisp. Thank you.